Hey everybody, welcome back. As promised, and as I said in the last video, this is the second of two NuTone Haciendas. Um, yeah, exact same fan as the last video, except it's a different fan. Um, and if you didn't watch the last video, I explained a lot about these and where I got them from, and the history and everything. But just for those of you who don't know or didn't watch, I got these. Uh, it was a pair. I got them like last week, I think. Yeah, it was like exactly a week ago to the day. Um, and yeah, it was a pair of two identical ones. Obviously, they were both antique brass, with I believe teak blades, 52-inch. Um, Yeah, this one is also dated 1984. No, sorry, 86. Um, yeah, 86, but it's got a different, like, suffix code on it. So I'm not sure. This one is later, probably is a little bit later. Just like later made in the year. But, anyway, yeah, these were designed using expired hunter patents from, I believe, the early 20th century. Um, and yeah, they were using the same patents that Hunter would later use for the archive original in 2000. You'll notice that the blade arm design and the faceplate design with those GE vents and the little ornate details are kind of similar to the archive original. Of course, they redesigned it a little bit, but the basic structural, like the basic form is there and everything. And this is essentially just a copy of the Hunter original. They basically designed, like I said, they designed it with those patents, and they just designed it on the basis of the original with the like different proportions, but like the same, like it's got the same stepped nose, the same sort of squared off motor housing. Um, yeah, earlier ones had bell canopies. This one has, or both of them have the ball socket later canopy, which I believe was also a sloped ceiling adapter that they sold separately. They also sold them with low ceiling adapters, which they also sold separately. And then there was also the debate over whether or not these were actually Hacienda 2s, which was the same as the regular Hacienda, except they were packaged together with the blades and the motor in the box. Normally they would be sold, all the other like NuTone fans were sold separately with the blades packaged in a separate box from the motor and everything else, down rod, canopy. But the only difference was, other than that, was that the blades were uh, uh, not real wood. They were like a plywood with contact paper on it, on the blades, which I'm not sure if these are that. Uh, I don't think so, as I said, because these are from 86, and the Hacienda 2, I believe, was only ever produced at the tail end of the 80s, like the 88, 89. So, yeah, I don't think these are Hacienda 2s, but maybe they are. I'm not really sure. Um, yeah, it's got a stamped steel spinner motor made by Safer. The same one that the Sea Island used, except the Sea Island had a dropped flywheel mounted to it to give the illusion that it was stack motor. And this is kind of like the one of the lower end models below the Verandah Deluxe. I feel like this and like I mentioned in the last video, the Sea Island and this are on the same level pretty much in terms of luxury, status, I suppose. Um, but yeah, so go ahead and start it up on high. And as I mentioned, these are normally slower runners. They're not known for being super fast. The last one went really fast. The one before that I tested. This one's twin. And as you can see, this one's not doing too bad either. So I have a feeling that these were rarely run when they were installed, because they're in really nice shape. Like, the blades weren't even really that dusty at all. It was more so on top of the motor housing that I had to clean. But yeah. Very quiet. Moving a lot of air, which is very uncommon for these. I mean, like I said, some of them do go fast, some of them go slow. It's a very mixed bag with Haciendas. But these two, I guess, are of the faster batch. A little bit of wobble. There's like one blade arm that's a little bit bent downwards, but like I said in the last video, I'm not gonna be touching those blade arms because they look pop metal and they look like they would break easily. I've already had my share of that. Right, down to medium. This one's pull chain is easier to pull. And these use transformer-based speeds, which I also mentioned. This video is pretty much just going to be a rehash of the last video. I feel like this one's medium speeds is a little bit slower. Yeah, might be. If I had one of those RPM, I don't even know what they're called, the things that measure RPM that Dan has, that could be useful here. Still moving the air. Right. Low. And I also, that is the same exact pull chain extension I had on the other one. I just took it off and transplanted it onto this one. I like how it looks with the traditional antique brass four-bladed fan with the regular old teardrop wooden pendant. It's a really classic look. I feel like this one's low speed is also slower. The other one had like a really fast low speed, but this is like, this isn't terrible. The other one's low speed was almost as fast as the Loyal back there in the background. I feel like this one just a few notches off from like being the upper end of restaurant low territory. Yeah. This one definitely has better range of speeds. Yeah, I am impressed. Back to high. Oops. Let's not kick things. Spin down. I did run this one like all day yesterday, so the bearings should be a little bit freed up. That's another thing that makes me think these weren't run very often when they were installed. The bearings were stiff. I also wonder if they were on a speed control of some sort, because they didn't have any pull chain extensions on them, unless the previous owner took them off. Because if they were on like those long down routes, they were probably on a tall ceiling. Or they just never used them and didn't have pull chain extensions on them, which could very well be the case. Although this one seems to be taking a bit longer to come to a stop. Okay, a little bit of kickback. I feel like me running it yesterday helped free it up a bit, but I could still use a bit of run time to break in those bearings a bit more. Flip it to reverse. and down to low, and of course you saw that motor torque. That seems to be a bit faster. Possibly, yeah, I think it is. Medium. And high. Oops. It's just the hanger ball making noise in the mounting bracket. The wobble is worse in reverse. Whoa. I wish there was like a cotter pin in the ball or a set screw or something, because I do not like how much that motor twists around, or the way, it's just the way it was designed. There's nothing wrong with it. It's an up close view now, which of course, same exact fan as the last one, but you can see it's got the really nice blade arm design that I really like, with the NuTone logo stamped into the end, or to the little point there of each one, which I always thought was a nice touch. These blades, which are really nice. Not sure if they're the real blades or just the contact paper ones, but I like them. Probably teak, like I mentioned. Reverse switch, pull chain, and then this really cool little flower emblem design on the bottom of the nose cap, and then of course the quote-unquote vents, which aren't real vents. They're just stamped out portions with this almost sandpaper-like textured material. But I really like the very geometrical oblong GE vents, and then the little ornate details in there, which this little detail is on the archive original. I did notice it's a vent on the archive original, and it's bigger, but you can tell the design is very similar. The stepped nose, of course, which is another characteristic that the originals had, although these are more conical and wider, chunkier. Ball socket canopy. Of course, these came with brown down rods for some reason, but I'm using the down rod from my slim line because it's shorter. And on top, we've got the actual vents. There's your date code right there. 86-45, which might mean the 45th week, of 1986. 45th wick. Serial numbers on this side. And there's your caution. The blades must not be mounted more than 7 feet or less from the floor. There's the informations tag, which is the same as the other one, model number PFHB-52, which is paddle fan Hacienda brass 52-inch, made in Hong Kong. Very, very cool. I do really like the design of this one, and I really like how it performs, which again, shocking that these perform so well, but likely that these were rarely run when they were installed, as I mentioned. So, yeah, I guess that just about does it for this quick dual video series of these two NuTone 52-inch Hacienda ceiling fans. So thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video.